Hi, I'm Tracy Rudzitis. I am currently working at Marymount School for Girls in New York City. I am a creative technologist at the Upper School, and I run or manage whatever the Idea Lab, which is our school makerspace. I've been involved in makerspaces and digital fabrication spaces for over 10 years. Previously I worked in a public school, middle school in New York City, and in 2012 I decided I wanted to create a makerspace in the school. So I bought myself a foldable table, and at lunchtime I said we're going to have the makerspace and students could come in, open up the table, and we started making things. So that was at the very beginning, and I'd say 5 or 6 years later, we had some 3D printers. We had sometimes over 60 students in the space at lunchtime, and they were doing all sorts of really amazing, interesting things. And so that experience really illustrates the way that I think that learning happens best. Being able to provide a great space, and it doesn't have to be, it's not all about the physical space, because that table worked really well at the beginning, but the space, creating a space where students feel that they can explore, where they can follow their passions, where they can inspire each other, work with each other, and that can happen within a classroom too, I believe. You just have to kind of create those same types of experiences. So in my classes, although I teach a digital fabrication class, I teach programming, I teach physical computing, all of those classes kind of are organized in the same way, where the students have a lot of participation. I'm working with what they're interested in. I certainly have a kind of, an idea of what kinds of concepts, what kind of skills, what kinds of things I want them to be exposed to, or to, kind of try. But the way that they express themselves, the projects that they do, are all different. They can be different because they're all individuals. So they are going to express their understanding or their knowledge, whatever, in different ways, and ways that connect to them personally. And to me, that's the most exciting part of teaching, because every day I am surprised and amazed and wowed by what happens in that space. A friend of mine, Cynthia Solomon, says, we know what students are capable of. They're capable of surprising us, and that's completely true. If you don't put sort of a cap on what they can do, they're going to do amazing things. So in my maker spaces, I want the supplies, the materials to be on display, easily accessible. I'm not going to give them a list of what things that they can use. I want them to be able to choose materials and understand why some materials are better than others. Obviously, when you're introducing things to students, there's a different, you're kind of reviewing and looking at them, but they need to explore the materials. They need to be able to touch them. They need to be able to have access and try things out. They need to be able to say, well, let me try this and see what happens, because then you're going to get some really interesting results. The materials are so important because we construct meaning through these materials. We construct meaning through our actions, through what we create, what we make. And I also believe that computer programming is a really important piece to that, because you can make, when you add code to your project or programming to your project, you can add a whole other layer of complexity and make even more interesting things. The joy that I get from teaching is seeing these students produce amazing things, seeing them produce things that surprise me, that make me say, wow, that is so cool, how did you do that? It should be a two-way street. I should be getting inspiration from them, and they could be getting inspiration from me. So oftentimes I'm trying to learn new things. I say trying because maybe I'm not always successful, but I'm trying to learn new things. I'm trying to sort of show them that I'm a learner also, and I feel like it's magical when all those things come together and the space is about learning and making and doing and having fun, or as Seymour Papert says, having hard fun.